Alrighty, there we go. Back up and running. So, what do we got going on here? We have just finished setting up character motion. I need my controller. There we go. What's the next thing we need to do? We need to have an object. Well, we have our inventory that we still need to technically finish, so we can swap between weapons, and then cauldron and enemies, and then wave system. Cool. All right. Go ahead and set that up. So first of all, we need to figure out the inventory system. Let's go ahead and okay, what is our inventory right now? It's a bunch of slots, the central location to store the inventory data, and then we need to be able to select hotbars. Selected slot 0. Okay. Cool. Now, probably gonna need to have some sort of a separate process. We're gonna call it inventory process. I'm gonna create it right here. And then if we're gonna make the hotbar move left and right, input is action just pressed, D-pad right, except it's not just controller. This would be chosen input method plus D-pad right. We're gonna add +1 to this. Okay. Come on. Oh, jeez. If it's going to be D-pad left, then we're going to do -1. Okay, now at the end, we need to do something about making sure that it doesn't leave the boundary, the confines. And I think it would be nice if our hotbars could loop around, because I've played games with hotbar selections, and when you reach the end and you want to go to the beginning, it doesn't actually loop around to it, which I tend to find very annoying. So let's say that if after this has happened, the selected slot is over max. Do we have a variable that stores how many slots we have? Inventory open. Let's say inventory slots, max inventory slots would be 6. So if the number goes over max inventory slots, I think it has to be over or equals, because we could have 6 slots, but they would be indexed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it becomes 6, we're going to subtract max inventory slots from the number, which should make it loop back around. If, let's do elif, selected slot is less than 0, then we're going to plus equals max slots -1. So it loops back around to the front of it. Actually, not -1. Because if it's less than 0, then it would be -1. And if we add 6 to -1, we get 5. So I think this should basically be it. Okay. Now, the selected slot has to be... it has to make the slot number appropriate to whatever the selected slot is, highlighted. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. First things first, we're gonna make the inventory grid. Create as many slots as we have max inventory slots, which technically was already doing that, but now we're basing it off of a variable. We're gonna go to the inventory slot itself, and we're going to program it to select if slot is active. How do we select? We probably need to select using some sort of an overlay. Maybe a little corner piece, border. So we'll do that real quick. Let's say while that's loading, we're gonna check if my player number selected slot matches my num of this object, then we'll have the border, select border, we're gonna call it. It's not gonna run this sprite. It's gonna get enabled. Okay, do we have one? Yeah, nice. Previous used file. So let's, what should we do this? Like a brighter color? Pixel art. Grab this. Okay, I think that works. We're gonna export Witch of Endor, engine, sprites, Punguf, please and thank you. Y, inventory slot, select. You know what? I haven't set up the Git repository for this yet. I probably should. Let me... Here's a little trick. I can actually add an existing repository, even though I don't have one for this project. So I could go... Let's see. Witch of Endor. Right here. And this whole folder, I'm just going to mark it. Now... Wait. I don't have Witch of Endor here. No, I don't. There's no such thing. So, yes, add existing. Is the trick not working? No, there's literally nothing here. Yeah. What the hey? Okay, select, add repository. This is the path. Yes, there we go. So create a repository. I don't think I need to do anything. So that's a little trick. When you select a folder that doesn't have a repository in it, it's going to complain, but it's also give you an option to create a new one. And when it does it, it's not going to complain about the folder already having stuff in it. So you don't need to move your project files and, you know, do all that nonsense. It's really just not required in that case. Cool. Right, so that's good. I'm going to leave that to do its thing. Let's load border. Inventory slot select. There we go. So I want this to appear. So I guess we can quite literally just make that be the condition. Dot visible equals whether or not the variable in the player is matching my num. Okay, and you can see that I can flip through it. Doesn't read quite well though. You might want to do... Should we do this? Should we just make it darker? No. There we go. No. It doesn't read very well. Anything short of adding color to it. I think we might just have to. Nice orange. Well, that's definitely reading a little bit better. Although it's a bit dirty because it doesn't cover the whole slot cleanly. So let's do this. Tool options, multiple layers. Oh, come on. Wait, do I have growth? I do have growth. Nice. Except this. Okay. Let me double check if I'm streaming to the right channel. Hopefully I am. Okay. Oh yeah. That reads much better. Although, one thing that maybe I'd like to do is do transparency. Just a touch. It may or may not look good. Yeah, that actually works. Nice. And then we can do this, and it loops around. Cool. Now pressing D-pad up and D-pad down is supposed to make us transition up and down, which is really just a matter of adding 3 to the inventory slot. Okay, so we'll take this, D-pad up, D-pad down. So we'll just add 3, and this only works because there's 3 slots per single. Yeah, there we go. Per single column. Nice. Cool. So we can just navigate that quite easily. Beautiful. Okay, so now we have to switch the weapons. Okay. Cool beans. What should we do? I should give the player the ability to pick up those weapons. I think we have something like that. Last time we believe we've put in this katana. Master node. Pistol. Uzi. Shotgun. There we go. Hey, Vishal. Welcome back. Shut the GNU. And Katana will already have one. Okay. Nice. That works. It does actually display them. But these inventory icons are kind of meh, to be honest. We don't have them in the recents. I'm gonna have to open that up here. Engine, sprites, not engine, no, assets. Weapon icons. I kind of like these icons when they're dropped on the ground, but when they're in the inventory, I think I'd like to use a different kind of icon. Vishal, how's your day? Anything interesting? Okay, I'm gonna group these. These are ground. On ground icons. And then make a new one. So I want to do something like this. Making sure that I'm using all the available space. Oh. Whoops. That mirror enabled. Learning Godot and learning Gamedev. Difficult at the same time. It's really just a matter of time. I gotta say, looking back at the stuff that I thought I used to find difficult, it's almost laughable, to be honest. Okay. I think that could potentially work out. Let's see. Weapon icons. Those are the loose ones. Weapon held. And then weapon inventory icons. Well, let's just do inventory icons. Okay. Pistol inventory icon. So I tried maximizing the amount of space this uses. Excuse me. Icon. Might have to make 2 icons. Pistol, weapon icons. Weapon held. Did I not export to the right location? Engine, sprites, inventory icons. Piston. Whoops. Alright. Go. I'm just gonna copy this. So we're gonna make sure that the inventory slot only uses inventory icon. Beautiful. Hey, Steven, good day. Okay, now I actually want the icons to be bigger. And I want them to stick out. It has to be on top of our slot. And then when we select it, it needs to grow a little bit. It's a nice little cheap effect to make something a bit more dynamic. So we're going to once again check if the number of the selected hotbar matches what it is that we are selecting. Then let's just do this. Selected is going to be this value. Then icon size or scale is going to be vector 2. This will smoothly transition to either vector 2 1 1 if, I guess let's do 1.3 1.3 if selected, else it will be 1 1, and then to make the smooth transitioning work, subtract the scale, divide by 5 or 10 or something. Alright. Nice. That works. Could also make it spin. Rotation degrees. So let's say it's going to be 0, 0. No, oh, well, actually, this is a single value. No rotation if selected, otherwise, -15. Yeah, nice. I feel like the angle of the icon is a little too strong. Unfortunately, this isn't something we can easily adjust. Hmm. Ah, maybe it is something we could easily adjust. I want to take a screenshot from Blender in perspective. Too much work. Nice. Okay, sure, that works. As far as an icon goes, that seems okay. Okay. Oh, actually, we have a particular naming for it. Yup. Okay. See, this is nice when all of the icons are stored in the master node, or all of the data stored in master node. You update it here and it gets updated everywhere. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. Let's get the shotgun. Looks more like a rifle than a shotgun. Barrel thickness up. Sure. Oh, you know what? Hold on a sec. We don't really have a grip of... or the pump action detail here, but let's just put it in. Yeah, nice. Yeah. It does kind of look like a rifle, but we're just gonna ignore that. Okay, so shotgun, inventory icon. Okay. Yeah. Yep. It's a shotgun, all right. Oh yeah, that looks way better than just the side views. Even with as janky as these things are. Okay, beautiful. So now we need to do something about weapon selection. Master node is an autoload. It's defined here in the globals so that any information inside of it can be shared everywhere. Okay, so select weapon based on slot. Now this means we can only... How are we going to handle the inventory slots? Before, ammo was not an inventory item. It was just like a part of your interior variable counter. Interior variable counter. So if I wanted to drop ammo to another player, then I just press a button and it drops the ammo. We could technically still do that. Now, if the inventory is handled like a list and ammo is handled like an inventory item, then I think it makes sense to... yeah, it makes sense to select the ammo type and then press a button and that would drop that ammo. Maybe not everything, maybe it will drop like 10. Okay. Now this comes in the question of, do we display the held item in the player? Or do we only do it if the type is weapon? Maybe. I think having a type does actually help. Okay. Cool. So we go to the player here. If inventory has selected slot. So if we have an item under the selected slot, then we need to check if the type of the selected slot item is weapon. Okay. Why you complain? If statement. Okay. Now, we know that if it's a weapon, we gotta talk to the held weapon. And then, I suppose, if it's a weapon, it would have to have a held icon, or held sprite, or weapon sprite. No semicolons, this is not that kind of language. Okay. Else, if it's not a weapon, I think we're just gonna set it to null. And that's it. Okay. Now weapon sprite would have to be stored here. I don't know why it keeps giving me that suggestion. Okay. Right. Let's see. We're still holding. And we crashed. Ah, right. If it has, and it's a weapon. If it's not a weapon, and if we don't have anything. Texture, did not like. It's a string, right. We're trying to put a string into a texture node. Okay. Now, this does technically run all the time. So maybe we'll make a separate function called equip item that is going to run this as a one-time. And then we're going to run this function anytime we advance our inventory slot value. There we go. This way it's going to run only once. We don't need a pass here because we do actually have code. All right. Maybe every time we equip, we can do something along the lines of making it look like we're taking out the weapon. Let's see. Here we rotate it. Where do we rotate it? We rotate it right here. No, we don't. Rotate the pivot. There we go. So this facilitates the rotation. And then this does it using the joystick, this does it using the mouse. So the funny thing is, technically, if I want to make an effect that we're taking something out, I could quite literally just add. Let's do rotation degrees plus equals. We're just going to add weapon take out rotation. Okay. Now this doesn't exist yet. I'm gonna create it, set it to 0.0, and then anytime we equip an item, we're going to set this to, let's do 45 degrees. And then here, multiply equals 0.0 or 0.95. This is going to cause it to return back to 0 gradually. Okay. So. Nice. Interesting. Oh, this is adding it constantly? No, that makes no sense. Here we set it to a specific value, and then here we add to it. Ah, but it keeps adding it over and over and over again. Right, got it. So we might have to do it here. Rotation is this angle. We do have to be careful, however, because we're working with radians here, so I guess when we switch, instead of 45, this is going to be pi divided by 2. That should be 45 degrees. Or no, that should be 90 degrees. Pi divided by 4 gives us 45. And then plus rotation plus rotation. Beautiful. Okay, this was this one. Is it pointing in the right direction? Okay, this is left, up, right, down. And then we'll do this. Left, up, right, down. Yes. Okay. Let's take a look here. It does actually switch. Oh, and it actually works. What the? Okay, it's a little slow. And it also needs to be flipped. Times integer. We're gonna check the flip state. I think the flip state of the player. Okay, so whether or not this is true or false is gonna be... Oh, actually no. This is gonna give us true or false. We're gonna do -1 if this is true, else it's gonna be 1. And this will be done first. Okay, so this should flip the direction of that rotation. So we just need to flip it. This is going to make it look like we're actually taking it out. Nice. I'm actually just selecting the inventory slots without the inventory being open. Oh, that's interesting. The up and down doesn't seem to do it. Only left and right does. We do have it here. Oh. Right. We should be doing this after it has looped around the items. Okay. Well now. Okay, so let's do var selection or slot switched false. We could also just store the old slot and compare it to the new slot number. This is gonna be true, 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 and then here, if this is true, we're gonna run equip item. There we go. Nice. Now the shooting has to be a bit different depending on which weapon we have selected. How are we going to do this? We have weapon process. Here we are holding or pressing shoot. Okay. We only have one weapon that it's automatic. That's the Uzi. So we could do if it's a pistol or shotgun, it shoots at a certain rate. The rate at which you can shoot can be increased, upgraded through tombstones. So I suppose we just need to do this. If Uzi, or I guess we'll just do pistol, shotgun, and sword. Is it sword or katana? Katana. The katana has... We need to get the equipped weapon. So we actually need to pass a couple of other checks. If inventory dot or square brackets selected slot. Before we can do that, we need to check if there is an item under the selected slot, and inventory under selected slot. The item ID or type is weapon. Okay, here we go. Then pistol, shotgun, katana. If the current item ID happens to be present in this list, and we have just pressed shoot. Then this will happen. Or if this does not, the item currently selected item ID is not one of these three, which is pistol. That's the only thing that's not pistol, Uzi. That's the only thing that's left. So if it's that thing, I think I might actually have to still check for it. Which, if we ever decide to add more weapons, I might have to do this check again. Uzi. Okay, so if Uzi is the item, then we have to check if we're holding the key, not pressing it. There we go. If input is action pressed, chosen input method, shoot. Cool. So if it's pistol, shotgun, katana, and we pressed, or if it's an Uzi and we hold the key, we're gonna perform this shot. Now technically right now, something kind of funny is gonna happen. Oh, no, nothing funny. No funny. Oh. No funny. I made mouth noises for nothing. This thing works. What the heck? Is my ID not correct? ID is Uzi. Uzi. Uzi has ID. Oh. That is not the correct place to terminate those brackets. There we go. Alright, I think that's gonna work. Nice. Pop, pop, motherfucker. Okay. Right, so that's where we gotta get the shot cooldown. Let's add a timer. Okay, shot cooldown. Okay, this is going to be one shot, and this is going to be controlled by the weapon itself. Okay. Now, the player has the stats. When you upgrade, let's say your firing speed, you don't upgrade the weapon, you actually upgrade your own stat. Because otherwise, if you have multiple players and it's the weapon that gets the stats, then the players will just be like, okay, you take all the points, you upgrade the weapons, and then give it to us. And then there's no point in, you know, sharing points. So stats would have to be a part of the weapon, a part of the player. Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's do weapon stats. Pistol. And then what stats are we looking at? Fire rate. 0.6. Damage. 5. Speed. 500. Shotgun. Shotgun will have an extra, which is bullet amount. Let's do 3 for now. Or 2, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then technically Katana has 1. This is pretty fast. There's no speed, there's no bullets. It's just this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we go back here. Weapon process. We check if shot timer or cooldown is stopped. Then we allow all of this to take place. Shot cooldown. We tell it to start. And then wait for stats, weapons. We need to access the particular weapon that we're holding, so that's inventory, selected slot, ID, and then we're gonna access the cooldown rate. What was it called? Fire rate. Okay. That seems to be good. Set one shot, that's good. Nice, and then we crash. Invalid access property key weapons on base object type dictionary. Stats. Weapon. Weapons. It's the slowest Uzi ever. Let's go 0.3 here. But the whole idea is that you're supposed to upgrade it. You'll probably shoot faster with the pistol. Well, actually, the idea is that we make it not do that. So there we go. Should probably have no recoil. Dying at level 30 and going back to the slow-ass pistols is going to be painful. Okay, let's see here. Weapon position. This has to be in here. Oh, God. That's very annoying. You know, technically, this is a problem that I've seen before, where it didn't make sense to buy an Uzi when you could have basically turned out just as many bullets, if not faster, with the pistol. Oh yeah. Nice. Okay, that's supposed to be the slash. There's the slash. Okay. We might have to get a different routine for the katana. Elif. Katana is the one that we've selected. Chosen input method shot, shoot. Then we technically need to do this. Wait, inventory open. That's already also done there. Slash set to self. Add child rotation. Scale should not be happening. This is a katana slash, so should be a full-on slash. Shooty swordy. Nice. Okay, now we don't have other stats implemented yet. By the way, we shouldn't be holding anything in the beginning, which is easy enough. I'll just go ahead and run the equip item function in the ready. Right. Let's get the container failed icon. This a bit more. Beautiful. Alrighty. That is good. So we have inventory selection. That's good. And we're at the 1 hour mark, so we can take a short break and come back and maybe set up the cauldron and enemies. Something to shoot at. Cool. What the shit did I miss? To everyone in the chat, Jesus is calling you today. Come to him, repent your sins, bear his cross, and live the victorious life. Yeah, brother. Amen. Okay. Cool. Bots be spreading the gospel. Alright, what do we got going on here? Enemy. Cauldron, technically. We still need to do a few more things on the enemy side. But for now... Cauldron, which, by the way, should really be a static body. Where's the cauldron? We haven't extracted the cauldron yet, have we? There we go. Now this is an animation. Animation. So we need to convert this. Layer, convert, animation. Export. We need to export an animation. This is from 0 to 2. Do you think the bot reacted to the word witch in my video? Be like, oh hell no, sounds like blasphemy for me. Not on my watch. Better than porn bots. Yeah, or the get rich quick bots. I'll take the Jesus bot any day. They're only trying to restore tradition. Fighting the good fight. It's much better than fucking Baphomet bots. Ugh. Although the notion of there being Satanist bots and they lurk and try to detect Jesus bots, and then whenever the two get in the same chat, they just start duking each other out. It's just like every stream is a battleground. That would be kind of funny. Okay, here we go. This is a sprite, but it's an animated texture. We don't really need anything super complex here. Okay. I'm pretty sure it should be showing that now. There we go. Ah. It's not a one-shot. Oh, right. It doesn't render it unless I interact with the main menu or something. Alright, well, we'll assume that that works. Position it right there. Shape. Cool. So, we should be able to detect when the player shoots it, or when the bullet shoots it, touches it. But we can't reuse the same collision shape. Alright, let me do this. So first, this is player hot damage. The shape is going to be a polygon. Collision polygon 2D. This is going to be a deterrent. So player cannot get too close to it. Otherwise they get burnt. Let's attach a script. Scripts. Body entered. Okay. So that works. We know this is supposed to be sound. So this is shooting. Nope, bubbles. There we go. That's me after McDonald's. Looping? What the? Wait, what? Wait, excuse me? Why is there huh? Since when does a property have a checkbox next to it? What? Interesting. I'm gonna make it autoplay. Jesus, that's it's a little loud. Is that a bug? It might be. It's the first time seeing something like that. Okay. So we know that when a body enters, if body is in group of player group, which I believe players should be on layer 1. No, players have no collision shape whatsoever. Or, hold on, that's for the water detection. I think we'll have to mess around with this a little bit. As a matter of fact, if this is for general collisions, then this should just be a circle. Maybe about this big. Oh, okay. Right. What do we do with the player? Well, the player has to be able to take damage. Player must have health to take damage. We may or may not have to have another stats thing for the health stored in a dictionary. minus equals amount if health less or equals to 0, then dead, I guess. Or I guess we'll be down. So we can still be revived. And then we also want to do a knockback. So we'll do body dot take damage. Let's do 50. Okay. Can we reuse the dash? Potentially. Dash equals global position direction to body dot global position. So this is going to give us a direction from the cauldron to the player, so we can make the player go away from the cauldron. Times 800. Dash. Body dot dash. Hey. That works. It's a little fast. We also need to make a sound. Bubbling. Player burn. Sound player burn. Cool, except don't autoplay and don't loop. Okay, that one must be a little bit louder. Nice. Okay, now anytime the player gets hurt, we need to make it turn white, which I feel like maybe should be done using a shader. But I feel like if we rely on a shader, we might be not be able to publish it on web or mobile or whatever. I'm not really sure how compatible shader code is with these platforms. I guess we could see. Okay, this is the player shader. No? Wants a vector 4. Okay. Fascinating. So I guess alpha is already built in. Yeah, there's no alpha in 2D, so color already has the alpha in it. Okay. How do we now get the sprite? Sprite? Image? No? Okay. Guess it's time to look it up. Texture. Really? Huh. What do you know? Alright. So in this case, we could do vector 4, which is going to be white, but the alpha will be borrowed from here. And then aha. Very well. Well, wait a minute. Texture. Ah, we haven't actually gotten the alpha until we run it through the texture. Right. Okay. Sprite texture, and then we get the sprites, the textures alpha here. And then if we do this, white sprite. Nice. So we just need to mix between these two. Let's do uniform float damage white. Okay. And then we're gonna mix between sprite texture and then white sprite. Nice. Can we set up the hints here? What is it? 0, 0.0, 1.0, 0.1? The step amount? No. How do we do this? Uniform. Float. Nope. There's the hint range. That's what I was looking for. Nice. And then even gives us the ability to define how frequent the step is. That's good. Okay. So now we go back here. If we take damage, flash, it's going to be 1.0. This variable does not exist. We need to create it. I'm going to go to process. Damage flash times equals 0. Oops, come on. 0.9. And then we're going to make it address this property here. Shader parameter damage white. So we have to do animated sprite material set. We're going to set this parameter with this value. And I hope for the best. We're also getting a massive amount of errors. Input map action keyboard D-pad down doesn't exist. Makes sense. This is not something we could do with the keyboard. Chosen input method controller. Then this makes sense. It's keyboard. If it's keyboard, then we can just get away with doing keyboard. Wait. Move left? Oh, did you mean keyboard move left? No, I did not. Keyboard. We don't have keyboard D-pad left. We have keyboard something inventory slot left. Keyboard next slot, keyboard previous slot. Nice. Well, doesn't work either way. Did I attach the buttons to it? I did. Mouse wheel down, mouse wheel up. Unless we messed this one up. This is just one word. So that's what it would have been. And then controller is just that. Although it does have underscores in it. Nice. Yeah. If you're playing with a mouse, keyboard and mouse, this seems to be okay. I don't think you'll have enough time to press on the number buttons. Plus, all it takes is to upgrade the inventory twice, and then you no longer have enough number buttons to get to the right slot. So, inventory slot number it is. Okay. What the hell was I testing before this? The damage. The damage amount. Right. We have to make the shader be local to scene, so that all 4 players have their own shader. There you go. Well, that works. I could set it to 2, which would take it a while for it to get back to 1. There we go. Nice. Do we not have a cauldron bubble? A point orb? Cauldron projectile? I don't see a bubble. Alright. Very well. Cool. What's next? There's some loose parts that we need to deal with. We have some bushes that need to be implemented. Yeah, we haven't actually exported them. Don't adjust the size, keep the size the same. Ignore invisible layers. Sprites. Bushes. Dang it. Everything has the same name. Also, it created its own folder. Funny enough, we can actually just save it here. And it should just override that folder. Okay. We need to preload the bush sprites. Oh, freaking variables, man. Constants. Don't need it. Don't need it, don't want it. Objects. Bush. That's right. Okay, so bush sprites, we're going to choose a random number based on how many sprites there are in total in the array. That's good. Now we need to spawn them in. I'm going to set bush sprite to at least one of them. Give it a collision shape. Okay. That's quite curious. Something tells me that scaling collision shapes, even in 2D, is not good. It just doesn't warn us about the 2D side. Also, Y sort? Oh, it's not inside of the Y sorting object. Whoops. That's actually not very accurate. Shouldn't damage us until we get to at least there. Whoops. Okay. Oh, alright, fellas. We're going this way. God damn it. Okay, so can't scale shapes. Turns into buggy mess. That's unfortunate, but we'll find a way to work with it. Interesting. We could see it for a split moment. Could very well be because the weapon process runs first. No, that seems to be the case. Interesting. Even though it's all inside of the same process function, somehow there's a tiny bit of a delay. Okay, well, we have the bush. We have different gun sounds for different guns. Okay. I mean, my only guess is to store it in this guy. Okay. Technically, the katana has its own sound already in place. So we could say that when we equip the item, we equip the sprite, and we also equip the sound. Shoot SFX. Shoot. Yes. Now we do need to check if it has one. Otherwise it's gonna crash on the katana. Hello? Or there we go. Ready? Oh, hold on a sec. Yeah, we are loading it. Good. Cool. Right. So the sword does have its own sound effect. I think we may want to do that. Use that. Okay. We populate the shoot sound effect with it, but when we attack, we have our own sound, which we don't want to use. We're just gonna play whatever sound we've assigned to the shoot. Oh, nice. Beautiful. When we pick up an item, it doesn't detect it unless we do this. Nice. Cool. What else we got? Something simple. I think we can make the cauldron steal the points. Area 2D. Points. Detect. Collision shape. I'm gonna have to get used to typing collision instead of shape to recall the node. Okay. Body entered. We know that a point, I think, exists on a separate collision layer. 4. Okay. So the area has to scan layer 4 if body is in group called what? Point group. Then we have something in the point uniquely for telling it right here, pickup. Uniquely for making it go to the player. We are going to go to the cauldron, tell it pickup, and then self is what it's going to send as a reference. So the points are going to go straight for the cauldron if we get too close. Nice. Okay. Well, that works. Except... once it's picked up by the cauldron, it should not be intercepted by any other players. So we could do can pick up false. Although if we do that, the cauldron won't be able to actually pick it up. So that is, if we use another collision shape or another area to detect the points, then that would be a problem. Deposit to cauldron. False. When we do this, body deposit to cauldron will be set to true. So here, if deposit to cauldron is true, return. Also, sprite position will have to be elif. It's had to be centered if we're going to the cauldron. So we're going to say this 0.0, y 0.0. If it's null, then we go to the player. If it's not null and deposit to cauldron is true, it's going to be 0, 0. Otherwise, it assumes it's the player. There we go. Except, why is it still off to the side? Cauldron smack in the middle. Speed, velocity. Oh, right here. So we have an offset. I guess we can multiply by an integer of deposit to cauldron. Of not deposit to cauldron. So if this is false, that makes it true. True in an integer form is 1, so we get an offset. If this is true, that makes it false. False in integer form is 0. This whole offset becomes 0. Alright. Well. Okay. It's not quite what I wanted to do. But, oh. Okay. Maybe we should first tell it to pick up and then set the deposited cauldron to true. Because otherwise we just nerf ourselves. There we go. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Now, really, maybe this offset should be different. Let's say this offset is going to be like this. It will be this if not deposited cauldron, else it will be 0 on the x-axis, 32 on the y. So it still goes up, so it lines up with the top of the cauldron. And this is only the sprite? No, this is the whole thing. Yes. Now, it does mess with the sorting. So let's do this. Let's make it 0, 0. So it's going to go to the middle of the cauldron. But right here, it's going to be 32, if not maybe negative 32. So that's only for the visual part. Only the sprite. Yes, there you go. Okay, maybe a little bit less though. Let's do 24. Sure. The Z ordering, or the Y sorting, does actually, well, mess with us a bit. Let's offset it by 8 pixels, so that the points are technically down here. We might have to do -8. Yeah. So this would be -8. This will put the moving character bodies below the cauldron, which makes it render on top of it. But the sprites will be above, like that. Okay, that's good. So, if it's on top, then we can do 32 pixels. Yes, perfect. Okay, well, if this is the case, we have to deposit some points into the cauldron. We could technically do it here, simply based on distance. If deposit the cauldron is true, then follow target would be the cauldron, so we'll do global position dot distance 2 follow target global position. If it's less than, let's say, 16 pixels, then queue free. At least for now. Oh, it crashed. Global postion, of course. Yes, okay, that's good. Except let's do something smaller. Whoops. Oh. What the hell? That's weird. Why does that happen? Oh. What is this? Proximity detection. I don't have any other collision shapes that are squished. Shouldn't really be happening. Yeah, what the heck? Unless I scaled some. That's weird. No scaling, no rotation. I got character bodies just getting stuck with one another. Oh, there's one getting stuck right there. Alright. So, we do need to make it actually deposit itself, though. So, we do follow target points plus equals, and then 1 point is awarded. So go to cauldron, variable points starts with, let's start with like what, 50 points, so the players can either choose to keep it there or to upgrade something about themselves. This is where economics come into play, so let's do var max points. What do you say? 1,000? 5,000? 7,000? We'll see. Okay. Cauldron needs to display the stuff, which I would use a progress bar to do so, with no percentages. How do we add a border? Okay, yes. And then oh. There was a trick to it. No. That looks like it. Bit of a weird approach, but okay. Okay, so we have one progress bar which is for points, another one which is for health, because the cauldron could be damaged by various things. Okay, this fill we're gonna have to make unique because we want to edit it. This will be red. Okay, in the process, points value will be reflecting the contents of the points variable. Nice. The maximum number, of course, has to be representative. So we do points, max value, max points. And I think I would like for it to display the number as well. So label. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to display a piece of text this small. We might have to move this whole thing to user interface panel. I don't think we'll be able to do this in game. Yeah. Don't think that's gonna work. Okay. Canvas layer. Put this in here. This whole thing needs to be as a part of the panel. And then VBox container. Actually, no. No need for a panel. We just do a VBox container in right away. So points go first. Health goes above it. Okay, so that's tiny. But that makes sense why it's tiny. Matching up the size is going to be a little annoying, but we can do it. Okay. Right. Okay, now that's actually pretty tiny. Now that it's in the user interface node, so we should be able to scale it just a bit more. Label could be made a little larger. Nice. Now we need to make this thing be positioned just above the cauldron. So we're gonna have to once again unproject the position of the cauldron in game space to screen space. Okay. And I believe we found that. Let's see. Every node must have it. Oops. If I do open documentation, every node that can be seen inherits from canvas item. And canvas items have a function get global transform with canvas. Returns the transform of the local coordinate system in canvas item to the viewport's coordinate system. Yeah. Okay, so what? Okay, I think it just copied the entire documentation. Great. Get global transform with canvas. We're gonna call this on the cauldron, and then screen position is what we get in response. So we're gonna talk to the VBox container. Position, set it to screen position. Lovely. Screen position origin, because we don't actually get a position. We get a transform. And there we go. Now, we need to subtract vector 2. So we need to get the width of the VBox container. Size.x divided by 2. Nice. And then we need to make it above. So we're going to do negative 32. Nope. Positive 64. Okay. Getting closer. Positive 128. Shh, almost. Nice. Oh, lovely. The number doesn't get updated. Easy fix. Text equals string of points plus / string of max points. Oh, you stole my stuff. Get back here. Oh, god damn it. Why does this happen? Seems like it happens to all the players. Okay, well, you know what? That seems like a pretty good point to maybe take a pause. This will be a longer pause, and we'll come back and do some stuff with what? Cauldron has to be able to be shot, which is where it creates its own projectile system. Zombies that go with pathfinding finally. The previous version of the game didn't have any sort of pathfinding. It was just I had to make sure the field had no physical obstructions, so nothing was really a physics object or a static object, and the enemies were just kind of like going in a straight line towards the cauldron or towards the player. nothing was really in their way. Cool. All right, let's wrap it up here. We'll be back. Need some break.